Okay, we're shifting focus entirely. We're now taking you to Madhya Pradesh, where the Supreme Court has continued to allow an ongoing survey of the Bhojshala complex in Dhar in Madhya Pradesh, but it's directed that no physical excavation be done, which could alter the appearance of the structure. Remember, ASI has been conducting a survey of this site in Dhar for more than a week now. The survey was conducted, it's a court-mandated survey, amid heightened security arrangements in view of there are both Friday prayers that are offered there by the Muslim community because it is also known as the Kamal Mola Mosque complex. Hindus consider the Bhojshala to be a temple dedicated to Vag Devi or goddess Saraswati. The Muslim community calls it the Kamal Mola Mosque. And following an ASI order back in 2003, Hindus are allowed to worship inside the Bhojshala complex every Tuesday. Muslims are allowed to offer namaz at the site on Friday. Right now, as you can see, the Supreme Court giving that allowance. Let's go over to our colleague Ananya to understand more here. Ananya, I believe that one of the aspects of what the Supreme Court has said is it said that no physical excavation will be done, which could alter the appearance of the structure. But Ananya, I do want to ask you, a few days ago, the ASI team had noticed some beams under the foundation at a place, and they thought that they might need to dig up in more places to draw a firm conclusion. What the Supreme Court has said, does that now mean they can't do that, or had they already done that in the intervening days?
You know, the survey has now entered its 9th day today as we speak. And in fact, the Supreme Court has very clearly and categorically not halted this particular survey. It's just said, no kind of a physical excavation which could alter, in fact, the religious, character of this particular place should be done. So, no kind of a physical excavation would now be able to be possible. In fact, because of the orders of the Supreme Court. In fact, a very crucial aspect of this order also is that, the ASI report, no action would be taken on that particular report until and unless there would be a directions of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is seized off the matter. It is issued, in fact, notice to the Archaeological Survey of India in this particular regard. So the hearing would continue before the Supreme Court, but at this point of time, this can be said to be a big relief for the Hindu side because no kind of a halt has been put on this survey. Just a little caveat that, no kind of physical excavation could be carried out, because if you see, we are in times where, modern technology and, the techniques like GPS surveys are being used, in fact, to carry out these particular surveys. And there is very little need to actually go into physical excavation, and only until it's utmost necessary, this kind of a technique of excavation, of, a physical digging of a particular place is not carried out until and unless it is utmost necessary. And if at all the Archaeological Survey of India feels that, there is something that needs to be dug up, they can always come back to the Supreme Court and, file an application saying that, we have found certain
Ananya,
artifacts.
we'll just come to you to understand more about if any digging has taken place already. Just stay with us. We want to play out for our audiences one reaction coming in, then we'll come back to you.
ASI सर्वे पर रोक लगाने से मना कर दिया अभी, और कोर्ट ने हिंदू पक्ष को नोटिस जारी किया है। तो 4 हफ्ते के अंदर हम अपना जो भी काउंटर एफिडेविट है, जवाब है, वो कोर्ट के सामने फाइल करें।
तो इस कोर्ट ने एक चीज और आदेश दिया है कि अभी कोई भी आउटकम को लेकर एक्शन नहीं लिया जाए।
हाँ बिल्कुल, अभी जो ASI है वो अपनी रिपोर्ट ऑनरेबल कोर्ट के सामने फाइल करेगी, और जब तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट इस मैटर को एडजुडिकेट नहीं कर लेती है तब तक ASI रिपोर्ट पे कोई फर्दर अभी एडजुडिकेशन ना हो, ऐसा कोर्ट ने निर्देश दिया है। हम लोग भी कोर्ट के ऑर्डर्स का वेट करें।
ज्ञान पापी में भी हियरिंग हुई जो लंच के बाद कंटिन्यू होगा, उसमें कुछ कहना है?
Okay, let's go back to our colleague Ananya. Ananya, you were saying that today technology exists which will make it so that excavation is not actually necessary. But if that's so, why was the ASI team asking for permission to dig up more places within this complex in the first place?
Well, definitely they would want to do it, but now the Supreme Court orders are in place, and if at all they want to do it, they will now have to come before the Supreme Court. And at this point of time, at this point of time, no kind of a digging can actually take place at this particular point of time, because the Supreme Court has very clearly and categorically stated that, the religious characteristics of this particular place of worship shall not be altered with, and it inquired about what is the current situation, how the survey is going on. And now, finally, this is the result that no kind of physical excavation can take place. Notice has been issued, and we'll see as to what happens next in this particular case. Toya.